How's it going, everyone? Thank you for being here. My name is DeFi Dave. I'm a core advocate for Frax, just a humble member of the community, and I am the co-host and founder of Flywheel DeFi. Today, I'm here to talk about stablecoin maximalism. It's a concept, whether you like it or not, it's taking over all of DeFi. Now, for some context, stablecoin maximalism was an idea that was presented in detail earlier this year at ETH Denver, and it states that on a long enough time scale, most DeFi protocols converge to become a stablecoin or have a stablecoin foundational to their existence. At scale, these stablecoins look universally the same in structure. Now, this does not mean that there will be one stablecoin to rule them all. It only means that everything will slowly converge to become a stablecoin. One can see evidence of this with the recent launches of CRV USD from Curve and also Go from Aave yesterday. This logic of slowly converging on a single design does not apply exclusively to stablecoins, but to all mechanical designs. Once the ideal form is found to scale, everyone in the category follows suit. Now, you can see this play out in the recent surge of Twitter competitors. The ideal form of a social network on a smartphone is we see kind of this sort of timeline maximalism, where on a long enough time scale, most social media platforms converge to have a single timeline, and at scale, these timelines look literally the same in structure. You can see whether if a platform was made a few weeks ago like Threads, or a few decades ago like Twitter, they all look and function the same. Now, we don't have to reinvent the wheel to simplify this, because we can look at the wheel itself. Now we have like a cylinder maximalism, where on a long enough time scale, all wheels converge to have a cylinder design, and those cylinders will look universally the same in structure. There's a reason why you don't see hexagon or octagon wheels, because they lost out in the evolutionary race. Now, before we dive into stablecoins, stablecoin maximalism, let's define what a stablecoin is. A stablecoin is a token that is pegged to a reference price, and there's a commitment to keep it at that price by means of liquidity, incentives, etc. The most popular stablecoins are dollar-pegged stablecoins, like USDC, Frax, and more, but others exist, including euro-pegged stablecoins, commodity-pegged stablecoins, and more. Now, we see a stablecoin social contract exists that happens to be between stablecoin holders and stablecoin issuers. Stablecoin holders give up the opportunity for risk-free yield in order to have a safe haven from volatility on-chain. Issuers receive the ability to acquire risk-free yield with the underlying asset, but in return, they must be able to fully redeem holders whole. Then this is the implicit agreement between the two. Otherwise, if they can't be redeemed, it falls apart. So now in this social contract, we see the two pillars of stablecoin maximalism. We see the risk-free yield, and we see the swap facility. The risk-free yield is the interest earned on high-quality reserve assets. So for the dollar, the risk-free yield is the Fed master account, reverse repo agreements, or treasuries. For ETH, the risk-free yield is staking on the Beacon chain. It's important to note that nothing is ever risk-free, but these reserve assets are the safest available options for issuers. The swap facility is the venue where stablecoins are minted and redeemed by holders. For dollar collateralized stablecoins like USDC, it's cash. For ETH collateralized stablecoins like Steth, it's the redemption contract. The confidence in this facility is vital to the health of a stablecoin. Otherwise, a deterioration in confidence may lead to a classic bank run. Now, we can measure how successful a stablecoin's organic adoption is through its monetary premium it has accrued. Monetary premium indicates a stablecoin's network effect by measuring how much natural demand there is for a stablecoin without the expectation of yield or other rewards. The more a stablecoin is being used for its inherent usefulness as money, the more monetary premium it commands. Establishing monetary premium, it doesn't happen overnight. It only happens through years of building trust and Lindy. It is the only objective KPI that matters to measure the success of a stablecoin. Now, with this framework in mind, what does stablecoin maximalism look like in the wild? Today, the most profitable company in all of crypto is not Coinbase, it's not Binance, but in fact, it's Tether. In May of 2023, Tether revealed that it brought in $1.48 billion in profit in Q1 of 2023. It's a new record for them. Tether's Treasury Direct holdings reached an all-time high of over $53 billion. Now, to put that into perspective, if you were to rank all the world's countries in order of how many treasuries they own, Tether would rank just below Mexico. It's pretty big. And with $83 billion in circulation and number one in the stablecoin rankings, Tether's dominance does not look to slow down anytime soon. Now, although it's been in existence for only 9 months, Frax ETH has catapulted to near the top of the LSD rankings with over 235,000 ETH staked. This impressive feat is due to Frax ETH's novel two-token design that takes into account stablecoin maximalism. There's Frax ETH, which is the vanilla ETH-pegged stablecoin that's basically the equivalent to WETH. And then there's sFrax ETH, where you can stake your Frax ETH for risk-free yield on the Beacon chain. And the proof is in the pudding. Per 1,000 ETH staked, sFrax ETH has earned 45% more than RETH and nearly 30% more than Steth since launch. Now, Frax views the Curve Stable Swap AMM as its minting redeeming facility. But for those who want to wait, they will be coming out to a one-to-one contract pretty soon. Now, in this model, you can actually measure how much monetary premium that Frax ETH has accrued over time. And as you can see on the chart, everything that isn't in the sFrax ETH vault or that's not in the Curve pool is floating around in the ether, no pun intended. And right now it's around 12%. And people have been taking notes. Predicted at ETH Denver back in March, last month, Carpet Key published a proposal to put all the DAI on the XDAI bridge into MakerDAO's DAI savings rate, or DSR. Now, the DSR is the risk-free rate of the Maker protocol, and ever since it was increased to 3.59% earlier this year, it has become an attractive option for on-chain natives. In fact, it has been speculated that nearly 7 million DAI was withdrawn from the XDAI bridge for this very reason. Now, strongly influenced by Frax ETH's model, the proposal adds a new dimension to XDAI, making it a two-token system. You can put the XDAI into sXDAI and earn a boosted yield because not all XDAI is being used in the vault. And this is just like Frax ETH. Now, we see the flip side of a stablecoin issuer gone wrong with the multi-chain bridge debacle. For example, all DAI that was issued on Fancy by multi-chain may have been branded as DAI, but in fact was a liability of multi-chain. It was DAI in name only. When the liability could no longer be redeemed because of the bridge being hacked, it became insolvent. Now, at the end of the day, what stablecoin maximalism shows is the on-chain version of fractional reserve banking. And by show, we really mean it. Because of the innate transparency of blockchain, we're able to monitor the solvency of protocols much more effectively compared to our off-chain counterparts. Frax has been leading the way in this regard. For the first time ever, you can audit the balance sheet on a block-by-block basis and see exactly the protocol's assets and liabilities. This unparalleled openness is revolutionary for not only DeFi standards, but traditional finance standards as well. You can literally just go to fax.frax.finance, go to the Frax tab, and you can see the balance sheet. It's pretty cool. So now, what can we conclude? Stablecoin maximalism provides the playbook for DeFi protocols who want to scale. By identifying the risk-free rate of the underlying asset and creating a liquid swap facility for it, these DeFi protocols could increase their growth, efficiency, and profitability by leaps and bounds, and have an advantage over those who don't. Thank you for watching. Means a lot y'all here. I've been going to ETC for the past 3 years, first time speaking here, so it's pretty cool. Thank you. You can follow me here. Yeah. You can reach out to Frax there, Flywheel there. I'm over here. I'm open to questions.
Yeah.
Take the floor.
So the slide before, you had a slide talking about measuring the network effects.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit more about how you measure that?
So think of it like this. A lot of times people are using stablecoins with some expectation of yield or rewards. We saw this during DeFi summer when you saw all these different games, pools who, this and that.
Is there a math model that you're working on?
On what?
A math model?
A math model. There isn't a specific math model, but with Frax and FraxETH specifically, they measure it out by pretty simple. They subtract the total amount of FraxETH by the amount of FraxETH that's in sFraxETH and the amount of FraxETH that's in the curve pool, which in my opinion is the swap facility for it. So all the other FraxETH in existence, because it's not earning yield in the sFraxETH vault and not earning yield in the curve pool, I consider that its monetary premium increasing. Yeah.
To calculate, sorry.
Yeah.
To calculate network effects, you want to balance that with something that is comparable. So you want to compare with all the other alternative assets out there, substitution assets, and a math model that is equally valid for measuring all the substitution assets will make sense to have a comparison.
Yeah, I think I would definitely be open for a math model being created. Right now, this idea is very new, so math models haven't been created. But if you just see Tether out there with $83 billion in existence, people using it, for their salaries, for their day-to-day, for remittances and everything. Like, it has achieved massive monetary premium, but it hasn't been measured yet. So I encourage people that want to measure it, to go ahead.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
Don't be shy. If you ask a question, I'll give you merch. And there's the hands.
This is more so just like a personal question, but like, what is it about Frax that drew you in as opposed to other stablecoins?
That's a great question. I think, I've been there like around the development since the very beginning, and I've just seen the work ethic of the team and how they've been able to adapt and evolve the protocol. And Frax protocol today is a lot different than what originally came out. And the team's ability to react to changes in the market, to listen to the community, which is very intelligent, very nuanced along the way. I think it makes a huge difference. And I'm just a big fan.
Awesome,
I'm just a humble member of the community, like I said.
If no other questions.
I was hoping you would share more about like what's happening overall in Frax, because there's just constant shipping that you guys are doing, and it's very much unlike other protocols and what they're doing.
Yeah.
Could you just touch on that a bit?
Yeah, I like to call Frax the SEAL Team 6 of crypto devs, and so you're just 8 of them, just like locked in their rooms, just constantly shipping. The things that are coming out, the thing that's coming out soonest is FraxGov, and that will finally decentralize governance, bring final say to token holders. After that, in the pipeline, you have FraxETH v2, which is creating a lending market for validators. I had a whole episode with Sam covering that. We have the BAM, the Borrow AMM coming out, which is quite similar to Curve's Llama in design. So you'll be able to have long-tail assets that you can lend on and borrow on FraxLend. And of course, way out in the future, you have a Frax chain. So a lot of things in the pipeline, but the 3 immediate things are FraxGov, FraxETH v2, and BAM.
How is it possible that you guys are doing like so many different, like touching on so many different parts of DeFi, and what's the purpose like?
Well, everything that Frax builds has a purpose of proliferating all of Frax's stablecoins. So Frax has 3 stablecoins, Frax, FPI, and FraxETH, and it has sub-protocols to support them. Everything that Frax builds is from the ground up. They aren't forks, and everything has a specific purpose for increasing the market share of all the different products. And Frax views all these different sub-protocols, and it's funny, I have it on the back of my shirt, this DeFi trinity of sorts. You have the stablecoin, you have the lending market, and AMM. People view them as different, but they're all parts of the same thing. They're all extensions of the stablecoin. And you see this, with Go coming out with Aave on the lending market, CRV USD coming out with Curve, which is an AMM.
So, if no more questions, thank you very much, friends.
We got one.
One more.
One more.
Okay, you said that stablecoins converge to one, well, everything converges to one solution. Where do you see stablecoins going from here? What's something that you think should be happening in the future on stablecoins? By the way, I love the pants, Americano.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Where I see stablecoins going, I think for dollar-pegged stablecoins, we see like the ideal design, like we see the risk-free rate of it being bonds and treasuries. Treasuries. And so I would like to see a stablecoin that's kind of like a step more decentralized than USDC and Tether, but still is able to access that like risk-free rate. So I imagine like there'd be a stablecoin with like a wrap with like a USDC or like a wrapper or like the collateral stablecoin, and then you have like a decentralized stablecoin on top of that that's able to get that risk-free rate. If that makes sense. That's actually like how Frax V3 is going to be built. Anything else? I'll be here all night.
So thank you so very much, friends.
Who wants merch?